Hi, I'm Chef Keith Snow. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to another one of my top 15 all-time favorite recipes, French onion soup. This is one that you don't see very often anymore. It's kind of a classic French soup. I'm going to show you the way that I love to make it today and all the steps that you'll need to know to execute it properly, because there's good French onion soup and then there's bad French onion soup. The first thing to note is that we start with the right onions. And these are Georgia Vidalia onions. These are very close to where we live here in Western North Carolina, and they're everywhere in the market. They're very sweet. They actually have they say they're a sweet onion. They actually have a little less sugar than a regular onion, but they have less sulfur, the stuff that burns your eyes. That's why they call them a sweet onion. And there are lots of different varieties of sweets that come from different states. These, in my opinion, are the creme de la creme. First thing to do is to put a little slice on them. And you don't need to be overly concerned with what these slices look like, because they're going to cook down for a long time, which I'll show you. You could use your food processor and whip these out really fast if you weren't in the mood to do all the chopping. Okay. Now these are ready to go. So now I'll go back to my stove and show you how to start the soup. This is where the French onion soup juju takes place, and that's in the pan, and it's with caramelized onions. I've seen other people that call themselves chefs want to make caramelized onions just by boiling them. They do not caramelize in liquid. They need to be in a heavy bottom pan. They need to cook quite a while, about 35 minutes, to really get the caramelization that you need to make this dish rock. So to start, we take our onions and we're going to put them in actually a French cast iron skillet that's enameled, very heavy duty, and that's critically important for this dish because you're going to cook these onions a while. If you've got a flimsy pan, they're going to be uneven, they'll burn. So use a good heavy bottom Dutch oven. Little extra virgin olive oil. In go the onions. And now I'm going to immediately turn the heat way down. You could put a lid on that and let it steam. You see all the vapor coming up. Those onions are loaded with water, and you can let them steam for about 20 minutes, keeping an eye on them that they don't go dry. And then you can take the top off, and what you'll have after about 35 minutes are caramelized onions. And these, I'm going to pick some up out of the pan so you can get a good look at them. See how dark these caramelized onions are? Like I said, the natural sugar comes out and it's on the outside of the onion, and it almost burns a little bit, giving it a beautiful, deep, rich flavor. And without that, your French onion soup won't be very special. So make sure that you cook these onions long enough to get like this. So at this point, what we're going to do is take some fresh thyme out of my own garden right here. This is thyme with the stalks. We're going to drop it right in there. And now we're going to take a little bit of sherry, not much, just a drop or two, and we're going to deglaze the bottom of this pan. And this has a bit of sweetness in it as well. So we'll scrape up all these brown bits, and man, that flavor of the thyme and the onions with the sherry, really special. So now we need to add our beef broth, and this is one that I purchased. It's organic. We'll add that in there. It's about 1 quart of beef broth. Just give it a quick stir through. We're going to season it with a little kosher salt and black pepper. We'll put our lid back on, bring it up to the boil, and then I'll show you how to finish it. what we'll do now is just take the lid off. You can see it. You can smell it and see all the beautiful steam coming off of it. Let's pay attention now to the cheese, because there's two more components of this dish that make it French onion soup, but that are very important. The bread. You're going to put on bread, you could call it a crouton, whatever you want to do. Once we ladle soup into these dishes, we're going to float this bread over the top. And I've taken the extra step to toast it so it's pretty firm already, because naturally it's going to get a little soggy, but this is going to help it stay in good shape for a little bit. And also the bread is important. This is a nice artisan bread that I bought from a bakery, so it's firm and has a nice dark crust. The second important thing is the cheese. This is Gruyere cheese. This comes from Switzerland, from the village of Gruyere. I've actually been to the village and I've seen the type of care they take to make this cheese, and the grass and the pastures there are unbelievable. The cows really have special treatment, and this cheese to me is one of the world's greatest cheeses, and you cannot substitute and put another cheese because you really won't be making French onion soup. You have to have Gruyere cheese. It's available in almost every supermarket. So get yourself some good quality Gruyere. If you can find a Gruyere that's cave aged, try and buy that one. That's just a little extra special. So take this, and we want to use just a simple grater here and grate some of this cheese. And this is a perfect melting cheese. It's also used very frequently in fondue. Another cheese is called Emmentaler. That's a Swiss cheese as well, and they would mix these two frequently for fondue. So this is a great melting cheese. It's aged, I believe, 18 months or 2 years, so it's very sharp. It's a very, assertive cheese. And that's what you want in this dish. You don't want kind of a wimpy cheese. So that's enough of our grated cheese. And we're just going to take this and set it aside. And we will grab our serving bowls. And if you can notice, I've got them on top of a sheet pan in case they boil over. They should land on the sheet pan and not in my oven. I don't know about you, but cleaning ovens is really not my thing. So we will take our ladle, being sure that we kind of stir it up, because you want onions, obviously, to get in every one of these bowls. And you can see big pieces of thyme. That's perfectly fine. Put them in there. Adds flavor. And you notice the color of the soup. It's this dark mahogany brown. If I didn't caramelize the onions well enough, you wouldn't have that, and you're missing all the flavor. You have to have very dark caramelized onions. That's what brings out the sweetness and makes the dish really great. And this is a good late spring soup, or actually even a fall soup when onions are in season. Even better. Okay, that is complete. So now what we want to do is grab our cheese again and take our croutons that have been toasted and just float them right on top. And the smell, I promise you, is absolutely intoxicating right now. So take your Gruyere cheese and lay it on top of here. And look at that, I grated perfect amount. The last step, a little more fresh thyme. And thyme and onions are a very great combination. And thyme also goes very well with beef. This is made with beef broth, so you've got a marriage made in heaven. All right, off to the oven. We're going to put these under the broiler, and please do not go and check your email or walk the dog, because this will burn in a heartbeat. So you want to stay around. You might need to put this under the broiler for 2 minutes, but really watch it. What you're looking for is melted cheese and the first little hints of brown spots. So now I will open my door and slide these in the oven. Carefully, of course. Okay, I smell beautiful French onion soup. Let me take it out and show you the finished product. Oh yeah. That is beautiful there. Let me move this pot on the back of the stove. Now check it out. You see how the bread is all crusty and the cheese is perfectly melted? This is just what you want to see. If you follow these steps, I promise you, you will love French onion soup. Give this one a try today.
To see more tips, techniques, and videos, visit harvesteating.com. 4 seasons, 1 lifestyle.